Hi, welcome to my channel. Nice try, cutie pie. So today I'm going to share about Logic Apps, where we use uh, to integrate our apps data and business services in a real time. So Logic Apps are basically very useful nowadays um, to integrate our services. It basically Azure Logic App consists of these steps. That is, I will show you one simple logic app. So the logic app basically consists of uh, multiple steps called workflow and actions and triggers and connectors and maps. So workflow is nothing but visual representation of uh, our business process which we are going to define inside logic app, and trigger. And logic app starting point is trigger, nothing but a trigger. So basically in the real time scenario, if any message gets arrived in a service bus topic or queue, then logic app can be triggered. If a file is uh, created newly in a storage container, a blob container, or deleted at that point of time also, uh, trigger will trigger will activate our logic app. And the third scenario is uh, timer based, like I want to run my logic app every 15 minutes or every Sunday night. Those scenarios, logic app will be started. That first step is called trigger. So let me share my screen and let you know. So if you say, so here, if you see, logic app basically consists of these many steps. The first step is trigger. Trigger. This trigger is nothing but a, as I earlier I told, uh, which is useful to start our logic app. Basically, it can be in a real time if any file gets arrived in storage blob container, or if a file gets deleted, or we get new file added in blob container, trigger will be invoked and the logic app will be started, right? This is one scenario. And another scenario we can say uh, timer based trigger. Timer based means we can start our logic apps uh, on an interval based, like every day or every 15-10 minutes or every day night or Sunday nights. We can schedule to run this logic apps based on this timer trigger. And the third one is when in the real time, when any messages arises in a service bus topic, like service bus topic or queue, we will this is another type of trigger where any kind of message gets arrived in the service bus topic or queue, our logic app will be invoked, and then next state of business process can be performed. So this is basically logic app we use for to integrate apps data and business services, right? So first step is a trigger, basically to start the logic app. And same way, if you next, sorry, give me a moment. So second thing in the logic app we can say is, that is actions or workflow. Let's say workflow is like we will define our sequence of actions or logical, I mean to say visual representation of our business process is nothing but workflow. We will define a certain workflow that will execute based on our conditions or based on our logic we define. So that is what the workflow is. And I can say third step is actions. Actions are nothing but, for example, if I say I have built a logic app where I have built in a real time scenario, like there is a flight booking system. uh, I'm an employee of some organization, prestigious MNC. I want to book a flight. There uh, I will go for logic app. I mean to say, in the background it's a logic app. So employees with some designation at a level of designation, like senior engineer or a manager, assistant manager, those kind of designated people will automatically get some auto approval, like $1000 auto approved to book flights for those, for that MNC. If flight booking cost is greater than $1000, it will be, there will be, it will be routed to multiple emails. I mean to say, it will be routed to multiple reviewers. So in this scenario, we can define our actions based on the scenarios. Less than $1000 auto approval, greater than $1000 there should be approval needed. So in these scenarios, I will use actions like validation actions, whether uh, if or else condition based uh, logical representation. So that is another step which is part of logic app. So next, same way, we have another step, important step in the logic app, that is uh, so far we covered first step, that is trigger inside logic app. Second is workflow. Third is actions, right? Fourth is we have uh, operators. We have built-in operators, so which is very useful in case of built-in operators. So built-in operators are nothing but, if in real time scenario, if logic app uh, uses like UUID converter, base 64 converter from or to convert data from source to destination, we will be having a we need to apply some inbuilt operators. We need to make use of like base 64 GUIDs, UUIDs, or mm, like those scenarios, we go for connectors, built-in operators. So I'm sorry, so let me explain it again. So one is trigger, two is workflow, third one is actions, fourth one is built-in operators. So logic app has this built-in operators, which is very useful for the developers who are going to develop logic apps. So we, in such scenarios, we use connectors. It is very useful, like manage connectors, built-in connectors. Managed connector comes in picture where third party connectors, if we want to connect to any third party systems, there we have pay, mm, use pay as you go. That times we make use of build managed connectors. We will deeply discuss these 5 points later section, but first we'll give you mm, how logic apps can be used in the real time. So I hope you understand what I'm saying on a high level. So I will go ahead and so this is a sample logic app which I have earlier created. I will go ahead and create a new logic app for you from scratch to demonstrate real time use case, mm, that logic app will be used. So if you say, I will go ahead and first create a resource group. I already have a resource group which is of this is a resource group I'm using. Inside resource group, I'm going to create a new logic app, or new logic app is this. So this is the logic app. We have logic app option in the Azure. So we have basically standard option and consumption. I will go for standard option, and then I will create make this option selection, and I can give some sample name test logic app demo 1, and then I can select the region, which is I'm going to select India because I have created my resource group based on that. So I will give this thing as a region, and then I will go ahead and choose resource group, and that is this resource group, and then network and public access, uh, and next monitoring, and then authentication, tags, and review and create. In this way, we can create logic apps. So once logic app gets created, we can go ahead and check it. So this is our resource group. So inside this resource group, we should refresh and we should see demo one. Yeah, this is the demo one app inside. Let's wait to see the resource logic app as well. Oh, we are waiting for logic app to create. I think it's getting created. So let's wait till it gets created. I think it's a little bit so. Meanwhile, I can cover it up whatever earlier I have created logic app. So this is the way earlier I created logic app, which is of a type standard, and then this is part of this resource group, and it has storage account. It has workflows. So I have created a new workflow test logic app dev one, and then there I have created a starting point, that is trigger. So this trigger is basically timer based. As earlier I told, basically logic app gets started by a trigger. So basically there are three types: service bus trigger, or timer based trigger, or third one is a storage blob. If any file gets added in the storage blob, then a trigger will hit. So I chose first option, that is timer based. Every 5 minutes our trigger should start our logic app. So this is called overall workflow. So here this is the first step in my logic app. Second step is I have set up my variables. So here I just set up like a run id. I gave the name run id and the type string type, and this is I have simply taken initialized my variables for this logic app. Third step, I choose read blob content. I do have storage container. If you see, let me open another tab. If you go to home, there is this is my resource group, test resource group one, where I have created and I have clubbed all the resources inside this resource group, that is logic app and storage account. So if you see this one storage account, um, so if you see one of the storage account, we do have here two types of storage accounts are there. Yeah, I will try to open one storage account, and I go to storage browser, and I go to the containers, and there I have created one new container test storage, and I have added a file called simple sample JSON. So here to access the storage container from our logic app, we have to do some steps that are very crucial. In we should make sure in the access control, uh, we should check our access, what are the access we have, and we should be able to see this access storage blob reader and storage blob contributor. In order to access this in order to access storage data at our logic app level. So basically what I want to say is storage app is storage account is this. Inside the storage account we might store different kinds of data like JSON data or big any like image data or XML data or any kind of data we can upload it over here. I mean to say in the real time it can be automatic process, business process, end user from upstream system, uh, from order management UI, the file will ultimately comes and stores over in this place once user submits their order. So to access the storage container at our logic app, because our logic app's purpose is to integrate the app's data and business process, we need to make sure that we should go to access control and view our access. If you access is not showing up like storage blob data contributor, storage blob data reader, we should go ahead and add the role assignment. We should click on this button and check for storage. You can simply make a search here. It will show up, and you can simply as I said earlier, storage blob contributor and storage, sorry, my mistake. So we should make sure storage blob data contributor, storage blob data reader options are selected. So here I should select this option, and I should select the members who are going to access this resource. So I will give, we should give the uh, user names here. So we should select the member so that he can get the access. So for example, I have logged in with my email ID here, so I will give my name over here and try to select it and make further selections. So that way we can add a user to access this storage data, right? So this is one option, and another option we have is we should go to access control. So here again we should check for add role assignment, and then we should go ahead and we will go ahead and check for storage, and we should make sure, I'm sorry, something got broken. Let me check. Yeah, if you check my access, sorry. I was at a wrong place. This is resource group. Inside resource group, we have storage blob account, storage account. So storage account has access control option. Here we should earlier, as I told you, we should go to add role assignment and make sure we add storage blob data reader and storage blob data contributor. So these two things we have to manually add. So though that like this way, add role assignment and type storage. So you will get to see this thing, storage blob data reader and storage blob data contributor. So if we make this two rows selection and add the members over here who are going to access the storage data, that way we can access this data. The another way is managed identity, that also I'm going to cover in the later coming sessions. So after create you create the storage account and give the role access. If successfully you give this role access like storage blob data contributor, storage blob data reader, then you can simply go to storage browser and try to upload any file. This is my storage pro test pro container which I created, and try to upload any sample files over here and come back to come back to our logic app. So basically what I want to say is logic app, we are here in this example logic app. What I try to uh, achieve the requirement is I want to first step trigger. As I earlier told, first step trigger will timer trigger every 5 minutes. It's going to check and second step is initialize variables. Third step is I have created read blob content, so it's going to read the blob content. So here earlier in that storage container blob, I uploaded a sample JSON file, so I am going to pass container name and blob name here as a parameter. So we can, I have gone into this tab and I have created these two variables. If you can see, this is the container name and this is, you can see this is the blob name. So you can even go to here. So this is the container blob name, test storage. So same thing I have given as a container name, test storage. And second thing is a file name. File name is simple JSON, that is a blob name. So same thing I have defined that parameter and I have given that value. So in the, so this way it will read the blob content. It here it will simply, we can select this expression tab, we can go for the dynamic content. As earlier I have defined the parameters, I can choose the container name as the value, and here also blob name thing, I can make this expression selection and go to dynamic content and choose blob name. So this way it will read the blob, whatever blob data is there, whether JSON or XML or image, it will go into read. And final step I have configured is compose step. So here what we are reading is response from read blob action. So this read blob action will read the JSON file and will show us the output here. So that output we are displaying it over here. Simply we are saying response from the read blob action content, and these two dots we can simply go to settings, and here in the settings tab we do have is successful and has failed. I'm going to cover this about in much in the later coming sessions. Meanwhile, so this is overall our logic app, sample logic app I tried to convey in the convey over here. So I will save this thing and try to run it. So if you go to run history, it's going to show you. So this is run history. If you see it, yeah, exactly. It ran, and this is successful, and you can even check. It is basically running. Trigger is timer trigger. So every 5 minutes, this trigger is getting. Uh, this is scheduled to run this logic app. So second thing is initialize variable. So initialize variable, unfortunately I am not using currently. It is returning like a tracking id, which is of string run id. And third step, read blob content. So the blob is test storage, blob name is JSON file. So output we are getting is id, message, timestamp, and environment. Okay, so this is the content of that JSON file. So finally, in the compose action, what we are saying, whatever response we got from the above step, same thing, that is the input, and the same thing is output. So this is the overall simple logic app I try to display. So thank you for the session. In the next coming sessions, I'm going to explain much more deeper, and I'm going to come up with more examples in a better way. Thank you. Keep supporting. Goodbye.